lot, and then you're in Duke of Gloucester Street.
We stayed there years and years ago, kind of the Williamsburg Inn.
Yeah, that's the most
Right.
expensive one.
Right. And it's, because it only gets so many people in.
Yeah, I looked into that. Their room rate was $629 a night. And I said, yeah, that's nice, but I think I can find something a little bit better than that. The lodge was just a little over 200. And they're half a block apart. Very nice, very enjoyable.
Good afternoon. The City Commission meeting for the City of Lynn Haven will come to order. Today is Tuesday, January the 10th, 2017. We will stand. Commissioner Ashbrook will give the invocation. Would you please stand at this time?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and this time to come together and hopefully get the discernment we need from you to make good decisions for our citizens. We pray for those who stand in the gap and around the world to protect this country. We pray for their families and hold them up to you. We pray that we would be civil in what we do and say. We pray that you would continue your grace and mercy as we know you will for us, and we seek and ask for your forgiveness for us. In your Son's name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Well, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to the first meeting of 2017. I hope your holidays were fantastic and that all was well. And so we will start our commission meeting with the proclamation from the Panama Country Club. Oh, we'll get to that in just a minute. Let me do that real quick. So with the members of Panama Country Club, y'all want to come forth? We'll come over here because they're going to take some pictures. Okay. Got a proclamation that we're going to present to the Panama Country Club. They've been here for quite some time in the city of Lynn Haven, so our proclamation reads as follows. It says, whereas the Panama Country Club was developed in 1927 by the International Paper Company to provide a golfing venue for their employees and guests, and whereas the Panama Country Club was designed by golf course architect Donald Ross, whereas the Panama Country Club was redeveloped in 1983 to establish the residential country club harbor, and whereas the Panama Country Club has been set the host of the Little Tournament of Champions for professional golfers such as Sam Snead, Johnny Pott, Bob Rosberg, and Gardner Dickinson Jr., and the W.B. Sherman Invitational, and whereas the Panama Country Club has been and continues to be one of the most popular venues in the area for weddings and social events, and whereas the Panama Country Club is a significant asset to the city of Lynn Haven and plays an integral part to the image of Lynn Haven, and now therefore, I, Margot Deal Anderson, Mayor of the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, do hereby proclaim January the 10th, 2017 as Panama Country Club Day in recognition of its 90th anniversary, and encourage the community to join me in this worthy observance, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and cause the official seal of the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, to be affixed this 10th day of January 2017. Margot Dill Anderson, Mayor, Joel B. Schubert, City Manager. And so we just want to congratulate them on their 90th anniversary, and we appreciate you guys. And thank you so much. Okay. And we'll get this to you afterwards, okay? All right.
Thank you for the recognition of the city for our 90th anniversary.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. As you can see, the mayor is not here today, so I entertain a motion for an excuse or absence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion from the commission? Audience, please call the roll.
Commissioner Shad?
Aye.
Commissioner Friend?
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbrook?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Barnes?
Aye. Item number 4 on the agenda is the commissioner's report. I will start with Commissioner Friend.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. No, the only thing I have to report right now is we'll be traveling to South Florida for MPOAC. As you all know, I represent the TPO in that capacity. I'll be going in January. I'm sure we'll have another meeting before then. But just so if anybody has anything or questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me. I can tell you more about it. It'll be January the 26th. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Ashbrook.
Just a couple of things. We've been a good while, I guess, since we met last. I attended a very nice Christmas dinner with the Lynn Haven Police Department since our last meeting. Thoroughly enjoyed meeting with those that were able to come, and of course Chief Raymer was there. We had a nice kind of over-the-top grand opening, I guess, of the newly refurbished McDonald's, and met the Costa family from Niceville that own this franchise, along with about 20-some others. And I think there was another grand opening in there that I've lost track of, and just wanted to mention to everybody that hopefully within the next 30-plus days or so, the Ace Hardware store might have a grand opening, and we won't have to go all the way to 23rd Street to get our nuts and bolts. That's all I have.
Commissioner Shad.
During the holidays, I did a little bit of traveling. And it's amazing, having served on this commission for a number of years, when I travel now, I always read the newspaper. I look at what's going on wherever I am visiting, and I've got friends. We have in our area so much more than you will find elsewhere. We are truly blessed when you go to some of the other areas. And from a city standpoint, you look at the state of their roads, you look at some of the things that need attention there that they don't have that we do. So I always feel very proud of this city and our community of saying how much we have, how nice it is, how well we take care of it, even though there may be some people that don't think we take care of it well enough. But we're head and shoulders above a lot of places, so we have a lot of things to be proud of. One of the places I visited for 4 days was Williamsburg. It's been a long time since I've been there, and that's always an enjoyable place to go back. Unfortunately, the day before I left, the temperature was 16 degrees. I didn't enjoy that. But I hope everybody had a good holiday season. I hope Santa Claus was good to all of you. And I hope you, as well as I, look forward for the coming year, because I think there's going to be a lot of good things happen to us. That's all.
Okay. I don't know if I reported on this last time we met, which had been about a month or so ago, but I had the opportunity to participate in Wreaths Across America, and that was held at the Lynn Haven Cemetery. It was a beautiful ceremony that they have where they recognize our fallen soldiers, and I think it's something that I would love to participate every year. Maria was there, and it was just a great event, and so they did a great job at that, so appreciate that. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I've got a Employee of the Month and Supervisor of the Quarter. If Stephanie Schultheis step forward. Stephanie's been with us right at a year. She's one of the smiling faces you'll see when you come in to pay your utility bill. She's done a great job. Can't say enough about her. The year she's been here, she's had a great impact. Recently, if you remember the officer that responded to a despondent individual, she was the cause of that, recognized that, and actually called the PD and really brightened this family's not just day, but holiday season. So we appreciate what you did. She's also been instrumental in decorating the interior of City Hall. If you haven't seen that lately, that looked great. It's all down now, but and she also, I can't say enough about that front staff up there. There were a lot of folks, and if you didn't know, because we don't have the commission meetings in here, we let it's Toys for Tots. I'm getting the name wrong, but there's a local charity that collects a lot of toys. This whole room is just filled to the hilt. And they had a lot of extra toys, and the ladies up front, unfortunately, are in the position to see folks that may not have a great holiday, and they had a lot of kids. So I don't know how many tears I saw on both sides, but they were very instrumental in helping a lot of needy families this year. So thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. And now I have a wily veteran for the supervisor of the quarter, and that's Mrs. Amanda DeLonge. She is our accounts supervisor in the water department. You'll also see her. You probably don't want to see her because your bill might be later, but she is the reason why we have such an efficient crew up there. She's trained just about everybody in City Hall. She knows a little bit about everything. She's been cross-trained on everything. Been here about 13 plus years. And she was also very instrumental. I know, I think it was the last day we were open before the holidays, we had a family come in, and she recognized it. And with about 15 minutes, I believe it was a family with one kid or maybe two. Was it just one? And she was pregnant, and she didn't have a car. She didn't have a way to get here. She went home, brought her kids home a great Christmas, and actually got a ride from one of our ladies too, but Amanda was instrumental in that. So, I mean, she does a great job, and she goes the extra mile, so we appreciate that as well. Thank you. I've got one more item. As the commission is aware, and most people are, we did a press release. Major Reamer is now Police Chief Reamer, and he's sitting in the back of the room. And per the charter, I'm asking for the consent of the commission on that appointment.
Okay, this city manager has asked for consentment of the newly appointed police chief, Mr. Matthew Reamer. What is the pleasure of the commission?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion from the commission?
I have heard nothing but praise from the citizens as I go through the city. People stop me in Publix and some of the other stores that know the new chief and said that we made a very wise choice. And everybody I have met has been very well pleased and is solidly behind him.
I too have had nothing but positive comments, both from for Chief Reamer and also for the decision that the city manager made. So I'm very happy to support that decision that was made.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yeah, I'd just like to add that congratulations. I think we've got an excellent chief in place, and I also think it can't be overlooked that it speaks very highly of Chief Messer and the job that he performed here all those years to bring up the next leadership to take the next role. So I just want to make sure to mention that as well. Thank you.
And I ditto what everyone has said. I have worked with Mr. Reamer for many years, from volunteer fire department all the way up through other aspects and other positions within the city. He has truly been a good asset to this community and a very valuable employee to the city of Lynn Haven. And so at this time, any discussion from the audience? Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Gentlemen, Rich Walker, 1106 Michigan Avenue. Happy New Year. I've been away for a while. I didn't have too much to say, but no disrespect. I have the uttermost faith in the new chief. What I didn't appreciate was reading in the newspaper that we had a new chief without any discussion to the commissioners or the citizens. I've noticed that most of the time the citizens have been denied their rights here. I don't want to get too far off subject, and I'll get back to it in a second. You've canceled workshops, you've canceled meetings, and you forget that the bottom line, number 13, number 12, is public commentary. You're slighting the public from talking. You're taking it upon yourselves that the people have nothing to say. just because you don't have anything to say. I feel that the citizens are being slighted here. And in conjunction with this appointment, I read in the newspaper that the chief of police has been confirmed. He's the chief of police. There was no discussion in an open forum with the citizens involving this. Again, please do not take this personal to the chief of police from me. That is not the question. I'm questioning what you did. In a previous commission meeting that I was not here, you brought forth to this commission for a vote to change the paint on the police department car. You did not bring the hiring or open it up to hiring a new police chief to the citizens. You decided to change the paint. You had to vote on that, but you didn't vote on hiring the new chief. I believe the procedures should be that you open it up to the community, the state of Florida, to get the best bang for your buck. This wasn't done. The citizens didn't have any input in this at all. We had input in the hiring of the city manager. Finally, after many years, we had the city manager in front of the citizens. We asked him questions. In this respect, we did not. What I'm saying here is, I believe you could have done this a little differently and brought the citizens into the fold of choosing, maybe helping in choosing, and again, getting more bang for the buck. Again, please do not take this as disparaging words to the credibility of the new chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Anyone else from the audience? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Friend,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Shad,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Barnes.
Aye. Motion carried. Items 6 through 10 is the consent agenda. Item number 7, and I'll read these individually, are the minutes from 12/13/16 regular meeting. Item number 8 is to approve the site dedication of the Porter Park boating access facilities per Florida Boating Improvement Program requirements. Item number 9 is approve the purchase of 3 new police SUVs from Hub City Ford totaling $79,938. Item number 10 is approve the acceptance of a Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation grant for the purchase of 4 thermal imaging cameras. What is the pleasure of the commission?
I'll move we approve this consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion's been made to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion from the commission? Audience? Yes, sir. Please approach the podium. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you. My name is Bob Schultz. I live at 509 Pennsylvania Avenue. I have a question on number 9. Don't we consider the local Ford dealership or car dealerships when we're trying to buy new vehicles? Maybe Hub City is just a term I'm not familiar with.
This is at a staff level, so Mr. City Manager?
Yes, we do. Every once in a while we'll calibrate, but what we're doing is we're piggybacking, as they call it, on a state contract, and we check that from time to time to ensure, but that ensures us the best price because of a volume. It would cost the taxpayers more to purchase locally. Sometimes they do come locally, but it's the state contract that gives us the most efficient pricing, cost-efficient pricing.
Am I understanding right? You're saying Hub City, wherever that is? Where is it? Hub City?
Where's what?
Is that just a term?
It's a state contract.
It's a what?
It's a state contract because the state buys these vehicles in the hundreds. They get a volume discount.
Okay.
So in other words, us buying 2 cars from the local dealership, we'd probably be paying 20-30% more.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Shad,
Aye.
Commissioner Friend,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbrook,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Barnes.
Aye. Item,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
I think we forgot the attorney's report.
Did we forget? I am sorry,
I didn't.
Rob.
I didn't have a report, so I just let it
I'm
slide.
sorry. I didn't mean to leave you out.
No report, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay.
It's
My
hard.
apologies. Let that be on the record. Old business, item number 11, second and final reading of ordinance number 1026, temporary moratorium medical cannabis. Mr. City Manager. We're going to read that by title only without any
Yes.
objections.
Ordinance number 1026, an ordinance of the City of Lynn Haven, Florida, establishing a temporary moratorium on growing, cultivating, processing, manufacturing, dispensing, distribution of, and the wholesale or retail sale of medical cannabis, low THC cannabis, and derivative products or any related activities, establishing a temporary moratorium until August 15, 2017 on such medical cannabis activities within the city, directing staff to review and, if necessary, develop land use regulations and other recommendations regarding medical cannabis activities, establishing an effective date and termination date.
This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. What is the pleasure of the commission?
Move approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and approved. Motion and second to approve this ordinance. Any discussion from the commission?
I guess I have problems with the state. That was voted on, the legislature voted on it, and yet they have done nothing to provide the cities and the communities throughout the state with the methodology to move forward on this. And I just hate the fact that all of us, not just this community, but throughout the state, we have to put a moratorium on it until the state does their job. They should have done that months ago.
I agree with you.
Well, let me also caution that the legislature met last spring, and it probably would have, not to defend them, would have been premature for them to have instituted and put in place procedures and methodology when they didn't know whether it would or wouldn't pass. So you have to wait until you know it's going to pass or it has passed, in essence, before you can institute your procedures. And I think that's the dilemma, is everyone below the state level, municipalities, political subdivisions, whatever it is now in a quandary because we cannot institute things upon our own that would be contradictory to whatever the legislature allows in March. So therein lies, and I hope the public understands that. There's been a misconception that municipalities and other government entities did not want to implement the will of the voters, and that's far from being accurate.
Anyone else from the commission? Audience? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Friend,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Shad,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Barnes.
Aye. New business, item number 12, brings us down to public commentary. Anyone from the audience like to approach the commission? Last call. If not, this meeting is adjourned.